So as I was saying in the last video, Spices and Herbs KISS method, as we move on to 102, is as a cooking teacher, and I asked those students who has the oldest spice, and so now we're at the point where you want to try to find bulk spices, because guess how much money they save? So you could buy this much or less in the bulk section. They usually have 20 or 30 different spices offered. I spend as little as 50 cents, sometimes $1, $1.50. And you know what the cost of the jars and the cans are. So you can get as little as you want. And what's the advantage of that? To bring this small amount home and refill your jars. The advantage is that the library is also your friend. You go to the library, you find a recipe, and you want to try it. And yes, I think that cookbooks are very valid. And then this is a very easy recipe for Spanish omelet, okay? And it calls for turmeric and paprika. What if you don't have one or both of those? You can go to the bulk section and buy those that you need and try that out. It's just a very inexpensive but fun recipe. That's what I love about cooking, is that I can create recipes that are as good or much better than pretty much any restaurant around the world. And so can you, but you start with fresh spices, and this is the answer. Now, an interesting thing is, how long does it take the spices to get onto the shelf? So here's all of the things that the students would question me about over the years, since I had thousands of students. One of the things was, well, how do you know that the spice on the grocery shelf is fresh? Well, they do put a date on it, and you can sort of go by that. But another thing to remember about grocery stores in general is the volume of merchandise that they are selling. The products are flying off the shelves. So unless it's dusty, assume it hasn't been on the shelf all that long. So now the other thing is, what about, and I've had students say, they ask, do you need to go to a specialty spice shop? Or they say you need to, and some students say you absolutely have to, and then some students ask. And my answer is, as far as spices go, really, you can buy them all at the grocery store in your area. You do not have to go out and about and make it a lot harder because what I really want you to do is try that recipe and try some more. So, another thing is, what about purchasing them on the internet? Yes, it's fine to purchase spices on the internet, but I consider that a barrier between, if you need a particular spice and you want to make that recipe, is that period of time that you're waiting for it to arrive, you may have now kind of don't have the momentum to make that recipe. That's why I say run to the nearest grocery store. And then what about if there really isn't a store near you that offers bulk? Well, go ahead and buy them on the grocery store shelf. Or I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you about some options. This is Get Real in the Kitchen with Deanna Olson, live from Denver. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and one take.